to get the increase. And a lot of people do the opposite really. So here's my squiggles from yesterday. Why Salon is not a hobby, why our salon is a real business, and why it's a numbers game that we need to look at. And it's not a volume game, not like let's get as busy as we can. Now, I just did something here with a $500,000 salon. If you cut your prices by $10, that's all. So we know the average bill, let's just say, is $100, which is quite normal for here in Australia. This is on your before section, if you can see that. Your wage is about 35%, so $35 to the 100. Your stock is about 15%, because not many of you can get to 10, and your bill sits about 30. Now that means for every $100 that you get through your till, you get to keep 20 as profit, 20%. That's roughly how our business models work. But if you gave $10 off to get in your salon, or your average bill dropped by $10, if you look to the right on the after, that now means that by giving that just $10 off at your top end, gives you almost half the amount of profit at the bottom end, which is huge. If you imagine that you have a salon that's doing 1,000 and you've got 100,000 profit, by losing just $10 on your average bill, your profit will be losing about $40,000 a year, which is almost half your money. It's a huge, massive amount that snowballs up with just a small $10 off your average bill. And these facts don't change. Your wages don't change if your average bill drops, and your stock bill doesn't change if your average bill drops. They still stay higher, but they take more of that $100 that you've got. It's a massive drop by just, we're talking, $10 here, really thinking small. Now, I want to move over, if you did the opposite and you got your average bill up by $10, then as you can see, before you still got your 20%, your $20 in the 100. But after, if you got your average bill to rise by $10, you've now got $30, 36%, which belongs to you. Now the difference between that is either having 100,000 profit or 180,000 profit, all by upping your bill by $10. Like that's a micro amount. Like it's really quite small. And you can see by us realizing that we have a business to run and profit to gain, the smallest bit of one element is massive. It's not about getting more bums on seats. It's about getting the bums on seats to spend more in our salons. That only comes with something else. So for you guys in the UK, I did this very similar. If you lowered your average bill by £5 on a salon doing about $150, you can see on the left before, you only really, if your average bill is about £50, your wage is about $17.50, because they're about 35% of your wage bill. It works out. The stock is 15%, that's $7.50. Your bills are 30%, that's £15. So you're only left with, when someone pays you £50 in the till, the profit at the end is only 10. That's all you're left with. But if you decide to do some specials, or your staff decide to charge a little bit less, then you can see your average bill is 45. So we've only gone down £5, which is quite normal in the UK. Like to drop £5 is really easy. Now that means your profit is only 11%, which is really, really quite small. And I think if I can get my phone working, because I'm thinking minus £30 is definitely not your profit through there. Let me get my calculator ready. There was definitely. Am I still stable? Am I still with you guys?
Yeah.
Am I still here? I am. Hey, I am. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Take away 17.5. Take away 7.5. Take away 15. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Let's get my maths right. Beautiful. So it means that your profit should be only £5 by you dropping £5 on a $50 bill. So that means that whatever profit you're on, you've almost halved what's actually going to be left over in your pocket. Like it's amazing how just that very small average bill drop has a huge, massive impact. That ripple is just going bigger and bigger on a salon. So if your salon is about 150 and you make about 30,000 a year, if your average bill dipped just a little bit through there, then of course you're going to lose almost half your profit. And that's where a lot of people find themselves in trouble and realize that we're still as busy, but there's no money left over. We're in the war zone. Why is that? Well, we can see quite simple how that very small amount at one end is massive at the bottom end. Like, it's huge. Now, if we just swap that over to this side, if you're still doing a £50 average bill, your profit is 10. But if you up that average bill by 5, like if you put £5 on everything to 55, you're now making, 26% profit, an extra 9,000 a year. Pretty huge growth considering how you can lose half of your growth the other way around.